We're going to be issuing an emergency order of prohibition.
510,000 pounds of cocaine, seized in 1 year. That's 3 times the normal amount. Worth $7.2 billion. Enough lethal doses to kill half of America. And the admiral leading the operation had one message for the cartels. We own this sea, not you. This is Operation Pacific Viper, the record-breaking surge that's crushing cartel supply chains. November 20th, 2025. Port Everglades, Florida. USCG Cutter Stone offloads 49,000 pounds of cocaine, $362 million worth, seized from 15 separate interdictions. The most cocaine ever seized by a single Coast Guard cutter in one deployment. But that's not even the biggest bust this year. August 26th. USCG Cutter Hamilton offloads 76,140 pounds, $473 million, from 19 interdictions. The largest drug offload in Coast Guard history. Vice Admiral Nathan Moore stood in front of the cocaine mountain. With a lethal dose being just 1.2 grams, what we seized could kill 23 million people. We own this sea, not you. Fiscal year 2025 total, 510,000 pounds, 3 times the yearly average. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard called it a historic moment in the fight against narco-terrorism. DEA Administrator Terry Cole added, "This weakens entire organizations. It protects communities across America." And here's the kicker. Cocaine prices have spiked 30 to 45% per kilogram. The cartels are feeling the pressure. So how does the Coast Guard pull this off? Operation Pacific Viper. Launched August 2025. A coordinated surge of Legend-class cutters into the Eastern Pacific. Ships like Hamilton and Stone, 418 feet long, each carrying an MH-65 Dolphin helicopter and 120 crew. But the real weapon, Hydron, Helicopter Interdiction Tactical Squadron. Here's how it works. U.S. intelligence detects a vessel leaving Colombia. Joint Task Force South coordinates. A cutter races to intercept, sometimes 500 miles away. The helicopter launches. Hydron crew spots the go-fast boat, 40 feet long, 3 massive outboards, doing 60 knots with 2,000 pounds of cocaine. Warning shots fired. The smugglers never stop, because if caught, they're going to prison for decades. So Hydron does what they're trained for, precision fire, 50 caliber rounds into the engines, not the crew, just the motors. Engines destroyed, boat dead in the water, cutter moves in, boarding team secures it, suspects detained, cocaine seized. This year, Hydron completed its 1,000th interdiction. Captain and O'Connell, commanding Stone. We use armed helicopters to stop vessels. We confiscate contraband. We turn detainees over to their country of origin for prosecution. Since August, Operation Pacific Viper achieved 34 total interdictions. Over 100,000 pounds seized by mid-October. 1,600 pounds interdicted every single day. This is grueling, dangerous work, said Rear Admiral Adam Shammy. These crews put themselves in harm's way repeatedly to stop the bad guys. So who's losing? Colombian cartels moving cocaine from production zones to international markets. And they're feeling it. DEA Administrator Terry Cole. Removing this much cocaine does more than interrupt shipments. It weakens organizations. Cocaine prices increased 30 to 45% per kilogram. It's more expensive to recruit boat captains. More expensive to buy engines. All due to immense pressure. The cartels are adapting. More semi-submersible submarines. Harder to detect. Harder to stop. But the Coast Guard's adapting too. Admiral Moore. I'd attribute our success to upgraded cutters, tighter intelligence integration, and new autonomous surveillance tools. Still, Moore admitted something striking. Despite record seizures, we haven't seen any noticeable difference in the flow of cocaine. Business is good for us. Most of what you see was seized in September and October. The drugs are still flowing. Translation: the cartels are moving massive quantities. The Coast Guard's just catching more. Industry experts estimate the Coast Guard intercepts 10 to 20% of shipments, which means if 510,000 pounds were seized, 2 to 5 million pounds might have gotten through. Even with record busts, billions still made it. But there's another operation happening, and it's controversial. Operation Southern Spear. The White House notified Congress. The U.S. is in a non-international armed conflict with drug smugglers. Over 15 strikes conducted against vessels off Venezuela. These aren't interdictions. These are attacks. October 14, 2025. President Trump announced the U.S. killed 6 alleged drug traffickers on a boat near Venezuela. 6 dead. Boat destroyed. No arrests. No trial. Senators Adam Schiff, Tim Kaine, and Rand Paul introduced a resolution prohibiting military strikes without congressional approval. But DEA Administrator Cole defended it. We're applying every tool to stop narcotics. American citizens are sick of Americans dying at cartel hands. Admiral Moore, we'll continue immense pressure on every trafficking route. Here's the difference. Coast Guard operations are non-lethal law enforcement. Disable boats. Arrest suspects. Follow procedures. Operation Southern Spear, run by the Pentagon, treats smugglers as combatants. Uses military force. Lethal force. France, Mexico, and Colombia reportedly threatened to cut intelligence sharing over the strikes. Cole dismissed concerns. There's no shortage of intel. Neither country wants fentanyl problems. The legal question remains. Can the U.S. conduct extrajudicial killings in international waters? The administration says cartels are designated terrorists. Military force justified. Critics say drug trafficking isn't terrorism. This violates international law. It's unresolved. Finding drug boats in the vast Pacific is incredibly difficult. Small boats. Night operations. Huge ocean. So how? Step 1. Intelligence. Joint Interagency Task Force South in Key West coordinates with DEA, CIA, NSA, foreign partners. Human sources report when shipments are loading. Satellites watch coastal areas. When a boat leaves Colombia, the hunt begins. P-3 Orion patrol aircraft scan ocean with radar and infrared. They detect small, fast contacts. Track them. Send data to operations centers. A cutter gets vectored to intercept, but it takes 12 to 24 hours to arrive. The smuggling boat only needs 48 hours to reach Central America. That's where helicopters are critical. The cutter launches while still 100 miles away. The helo races ahead, finds the target, maintains surveillance until the ship arrives. If smugglers run, Hytron engages. The technology's improving. Admiral Moore mentioned new autonomous surveillance tools. Likely unmanned systems. Small drones from cutters. Long-endurance UAVs patrolling corridors. AI analyzing patterns. It's high-tech interdiction. And it works. But Moore was honest about limits. We're a tool in the nation's tool bag. We deliver impact when deployed against large cocaine shipments. But we can't be everywhere. Big question. Is this reducing drug deaths? Complicated answer. Cocaine prices up 30 to 45%. Higher prices mean less availability. That matters. The Coast Guard intercepted 231,000 kilograms in fiscal 2025. Triple the average. Admiral Moore expects it to grow. DEA says cartel operating costs increased. Recruitment harder. Equipment more expensive. But harsh reality? Most Americans dying from drugs aren't dying from cocaine. They're dying from fentanyl. Synthetic opioid 50 times stronger than heroin. Made in Mexico using Chinese precursors. Fentanyl doesn't come by boat. It comes across the land border. Hidden in vehicles. Mailed through postal service. Coast Guard cocaine interdictions don't touch fentanyl. Still, Cocaine kills thousands yearly. And increasingly, it's laced with fentanyl. Users think they're getting cocaine. They get a lethal cocktail. So removing 510,000 pounds matters. DEA Administrator Cole, Americans are sick of dying at cartel hands. He's right. But the solution isn't just interdiction. It requires treatment, prevention, disrupting financial networks. One thing's certain, the Coast Guard's doing its part. Record seizures, overwhelming pressure, driving up costs. Admiral Lunday, we own the sea, and this historic amount shows we're defeating narco-terrorist operations. Where does this go? Operation Pacific Viper continues. Secretary Kristi Noem, Coast Guard will continue deploying overwhelming force. More cutters assigned to counter-drug missions. Budget increases requested for ships and aircraft. Technologies evolving. Future cutters, better sensors, longer range, more helicopter capacity, increased automation, unmanned surface vessels, AI-powered analytics predicting smuggling patterns. But cartels evolve too. More submarines, encrypted communications. They adapt to every tactic. It's an arms race, never ending. The other challenge? International cooperation. Colombia and Ecuador partner well, share intel, prosecute suspects. But Venezuela, not cooperating. Much cocaine flows through Venezuelan waters. That's why Operation Southern Spear exists. Pressure Venezuela. Disrupt networks operating with Maduro's tacit approval. Whether it works, unknown. What we know, the Coast Guard's committed. From Admiral Lunday to boarding teams risking their lives. Captain O'Connell of the Stone. I'm extremely proud of my crew. Months at sea. Rough conditions. Dangerous operations. They achieved something historic. 510,000 pounds. $7.2 billion. 193 million lethal doses. Off the streets. Admiral Moore's words echo. We own this sea. A declaration. A challenge. A promise. Cartels move drugs by sea because it's profitable. The Coast Guard's mission? Make it unprofitable. Are they there yet? No. Billions still get through. But 2025 proved something. With resources and determination, the Coast Guard can disrupt supply chains at scale. 3 times normal seizures. Record after record. And it continues. Stone offloaded 49,000 pounds. Hamilton offloaded 76,000. More cutters out there now. Chasing leads. Interdicting boats. The operations happening today won't be announced until next year. The fight continues. Eastern Pacific. Caribbean. Wherever cartels operate. The Coast Guard's message is clear. We own the sea. Not you.